Almost few years as GPT changed how we approach problems, how we learn, and how we work day to day. Now we have something that pushed that entire experience one level deeper, ChatGPT Atlas. And Atlas, it's not just another browser, it's a completely different way of using the internet. Because instead of doing all the searching, scrolling, comparing, Atlas sits on every page with you and become your personal coworker inside the browser. We talk to our browser and it does the heavy lifting. But there's the real question most people have the moment is they install Atlas. Okay, it's cool, but what do I actually use it for in real life? So in this video, I'm gonna walk you through how we can use GPT across the real workflow. Business research, learning new skills, analyzing data, automating the browser, and even task management with commands. How to install and set up Atlas appropriately, I described in this video. So let's jump in and start with the features that completely redefine how you interact with any web pages. AskGPT. AskGPT essentially brings GPT directly onto the web page you're viewing. Instead of looking at a page and trying to understand it in your own, you start having a conversation with it. You ask explanation, navigation, analysis, and even extracting some public data from any web pages, and Atlas interprets it for you. This is where 70% of daily time saving come from. So let's go through the most useful AskGPT workflows. Whenever you open any web pages, whether it's a tool, dashboard, a product page, document site, or even a long-form article, the biggest challenge is simply understanding how the web resource is structured, what the key sections are, where the important information lives, and how everything connects together. For example, you want to investigate some new tool for your needs, like Make, but don't know from what you need to start. Click on this button, and GPT side panel opens with already connected web page like a context to your new conversation. Paste prompt with request to summary page. You get a quick structured breakdown of this page. That's of my favorite option. But you can go deeper. Ask GPT navigate you to some specific page and at once summarize it. For example, I would like to find section about grid feature. It navigates me, reads the content, and gives me the essentials. If you're always watching a YouTube video for learning, sometimes it could be useful to get summary of hours video. But there is more interesting option is background info. Got information about people in this video and related topics. All you need already existing in prompt suggestion, but you could customize it. It provides me more information about the speakers with references for web sources. This case is interesting especially if you want to find more details about key members or things mentioned in video. If needs, just dive deeper in provided web pages. All we have PDFs or books we need to read. Most of the time we just need a few chapters to get the insights we are looking for. So just ask GPT to summarize one or a few chapters. For example, I need 5-7 key points from basic LLM workflow chapter of this great webbook. Atlas reads the entire chapter and even it's long and technical, transform it into a simple explanation tailored to you. Also don't forget you can use all GPT tools on the web pages like Deep Search, Learn and Study, Canva if you need that. So instead of spending 30-40 minutes reading and figuring things out, you get what you need in under a few minutes. Email is one of the most time-consuming part of the day, most of us, especially when the email requires multiple steps. Reading, summarizing, replying. Atlas can help you to simplify your tasks. To the better result, provide access your GPT to needed connectors. In my case, is Gmail and Calendar. First, I'd like to ask GPT provide a summary of newest and read letter. Then, I define does I have available slot for sometime tomorrow without switching to the calendar, and ask to define draft answer with time of meeting as 13 p.m. You got the result without needs to switch in between GPT and browser to copy-paste all this data. Now everything in one place. GPT is really helpful whenever you're looking at data on web pages, tables, charts, graphs, anything. Instead of you trying to figure out what the number of lines means, Atlas can quickly explain the main trends, highlight important changes, and point out anything usual. So let's move to the trading web platform. Then ask provide today's stock gained stocks. So I have list of required data in a minute instead of making calculations. Then I ask for more complex task. It's extracting limited number of data in a specific format and save it in a file. And then it extracts well-structured data, convert it into CSV. If I click here, I can see the final result. Atlas Search is a smarter way to explore the web because it uses both the internet and your open tabs as context. You are not just searching about something, you are searching within what you are looking at. Atlas can use your open tabs as context, so the answers are based on what you are already looking at. This is useful when you are comparing tools, checking product pages, or reviewing documentation. With Add Tabs function, you can attach any open tab to your question and get a direct page-aware answer. Pinned on the default Atlas page, I can add tab of Make page and ask something from there. For example, which business segments do Make automation cover? Atlas reads the content from the Make tab and responds with an answer based on a real data from this source, not just from the internet. Imagine you want to improve your website. Normally you would open many competitors' pages, compare design, read their messages, and try to understand what makes them work. It takes time and it's easy to miss important details. With Atlas, this whole process becomes effortless. You point at your niche and it scans multiple websites in seconds. It finds common design patterns, structures, offers, and messaging style, then turns everything into a clear summary. Instead of guessing what works, you get straightforward insights that show you how to position your project correctly and confidently. Agent Mode is where Atlas becomes more than a smarter assistant. It becomes someone who can actually perform actions for you. It submits, opens tabs, fill out forms, extract data, and moves files. You start the task, continue with your work, and Atlas completes the workflow in the background. Travel planning usually involves jumping between dozens of pages and comparing endless options. Agent Mode handles all of it once you enable it. For example, open this web page. In a sidebar, you'll find Agent Mode option. There are two modes: Logged In, where Agent works alongside you and use your login session to do more comprehensive actions. But if you don't give it too much control, so Logged Out mode. The next main step is define prompt with exact requirements about what you want Agent to do for you. Talking about travel planning, prompt should be precise with all needed requirements like locations, time frame, budget, and special desires. Also, I ask Agent to provide each result in separate tab to check and finalize booking manually. It provides compare dozens of options with booking flights, hotels, cars if needs, filtering them, comparing price, reading reviews, and making decisions. Agent Mode can automate the entire workflow, opening, filling fields, and provide researchment based on your requirements, while you continue doing something else. And you also have full control under the process, clicking on cancel or take control button. So it provides me a link of pages with field data to proceed with checkout, but if agent in login mode, you can ask him to finalize a checkout or purchase. But currently it's a bit slow now and insecure, so practically you can do it faster. But as background activity, it's powerful tool you can delegate some tasks. Let me show you how Agent Mode can handle actions in your Google Sheets. Writing formula, updating cells, making spreadsheet work for easier. For this, you also should launch locked-in mode to allow Agent edit your table. If you ever forgotten a formula or didn't want to type it manually, Agent Mode can take care of spreadsheet work for you. So I asked summarize all these prices and define exact place where result should be. Yeah, it's too slow, but just image that now you can use this tool to do this action without third-party softwares. And it provides correct formula in appropriate place. Returning to Google Calendar, you can ask Agent to set up a meeting. It do it a sequence action, like check availability, then create meetings in required time and parameters. You can do it without even switching to your calendar. As we already defined, I have available time slot since 13 to 14 p.m., so I ask Agent to set up a meeting with Google Meet link, title and short description. It do exactly I needed. So that's like your assistant, which you can delegate routine work. But remember about monthly limitation for this mod. Researching a product online often requires opening dozens of tabs, checking descriptions, comparing price, and scrolling through reviews. Agent Mode can automate this entire workflow, saving you from manual comparison and helping you find the best options faster. When you need to choose something with specific technical requirements, Agent Mode can do it for you. In prompt, I described required parameters, budget, and final steps for Agent to put the device in my cart. So it's check multiple pages with products, compare specifications, check rating, evaluate pricing, and adds it to my cart. So that's nice choice. Match requirements with budget and also has great number of positive reviews. Browser memory is a kind of tool you don't think about until it solves a real problem. Instead of digging through your history or trying to remember what you opened last week, Atlas keeps track of your browser activity and lets you ask about it directly. It's useful when you switch between long research session or forget where you find a specific detail. For example, I would like to find the last video I watched. Atlas searches my browser memory and returns the exact video link, so I can resume instantly. If you often need to compare information across a few different tabs, like choosing a new device or software tool, doing it manually can be slow and confusing. Browser memory makes this simple by reading what's in your open tabs and giving you a clear summary of differences. For example, I would like to compare automation platforms in my open tabs and summarize the differences. Atlas defines and scans the content of each tab and gives you structured comparison based on key points. Differences, integrations, pricing, security. You always can specify how you really want to see the result. This is especially useful when you return to a project or assortment after a break. Instead of reopening everything or remember what was forgotten, you can simply ask Atlas what you are doing last time. For example, I'd like to remind myself about trip planning. Atlas check in memory your described activity, the pages you viewed, the steps you took, the decisions you were considering, and as a result, we have description our last travel planning. If you are someone who keeps dozens of tabs open, most of us do, Atlas can tidy things up with quick comments. Instead of clicking them one by one, you can ask Atlas to clean them up. It also works if you need to close tabs with specific web pages. For example, I'd like to close all tabs with Atlas GPT conversations. It listed the tabs and Atlas identified them to close it with GPT conversation instantly. It's easy to end up with duplicate tabs without noticing. I prepare duplications of tabs and ask GPT to close them. Atlas scans your open tabs and close identical pages, leaving only the original. Reorganizing tabs can help you to stay focused, especially during research or project work. For example, I don't need manually move tabs from the end of tabs list to desired place. Just ask GPT about it. Atlas groups them nearly, allowing to access them more quickly. Atlas is the start of completely new browsing experience. Now the browser is not just a tool for search, but your assistant that finally works with you. But even with all its power, this technology is still young. Agent Mode can feel slow and certain workflows still require your manual confirmation, but it works best as hybrid, your traditional browsing with AI automation layer on top. If you want to learn more about how to use AI tool to reveal your power, subscribe, hit the like and notification bell. See you!